All right, I'd like to welcome back to Head Kick Audio. I got Leslie Hernandez. She's going to be competing at RUF 42, coming off a pretty badass win herself at RUF 41. She's going to be competing against Mina at the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix, July 31st. Now, you're coming off a really impressive win. I could feel the energy at weigh-ins, and it reciprocated into the fight. And you dusted that girl. And now we're back at it again for RUF 42. So just tell me, I guess you're just updating me at this point. How's camp been? How's the weight? Just give it all to me.
This camp's been amazing. I felt I've been in camp for this has been probably the longest camp ever because after I fought, I had to go back to the gym right away because they were like, "Hey, you have another fight." I was like, "You want to take it?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." Like I had many fights fall through, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll take this one for sure." So I had to get back into eating right and stuff. So my weight is perfect. Like I just ate 3 slices of pizza yesterday, so I'm good. I'm good. I'm not worried about my weight at all. Last time, the last weight cut was perfect. So this one, I'm walking at the number that I should be walking in next week. So I've been walking at 125 since last week. So I'm good. I'm perfect.
You're ahead of the game, as they would say.
Yes.
All right. And inside the gym, has there been any changes since the last camp?
We've been working a lot of wrestling in this one. That's a wrestling. I've had new sparring partners, girls, so that's been really, really good. Just different looks, I always had the same sparring partners. This time I had a different girl, a girl that's fighting in the Combate tournament coming. She's a pro. I've had her, and then some new guys, so different styles.
Okay, and as your career progresses, right, have you noticed an upswing in the amount of women that come through the gym?
Yeah. Lately, it's been like a lot of girls been around, and not just at my gym, but like I've seen for the WFF card for RUF, there's like a lot of new girls who are making their MMA debuts, which is awesome. It's pretty cool to see that.
Okay, but you've been doing this a long time, so how does it make you feel that a lot of these girls could have, possibly seen you compete and said, "Hey, I want to be like her"?
Man, I don't know. It's just an awesome feeling to have more females, man. It feels good, like when you're in the room with other females. Like you don't like with the guys. Sometimes you're like, man, like it's hard. Like just in training with them, like they're tough. They make it really, really hard. But when you go with the girls, it's also hard. It's more competitive. I feel like it's more sometimes not personal, but like. It's just different going with a girl and with a guy. It's different. So it's good. It's good.
Well, I mean, the sparring with women probably gives you more of that in-fight feel, right?
It does. Yeah, it does. That is true. It does. Like it just does. It's always sparring with females. It's just different with the guys. Like I don't know. Like yeah, I'm not gonna fight a dude, but like when you fight a girl and then she hits you, you're like, oh fuck, like So.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, this is back-to-back fights. Literally, like, they can't get any closer than this, on the regional scene. So, with this pace that you're keeping up, now that, you're able to secure fights and holding on to that #1 status, how soon do you think that you're going to make the jump to pros?
I'm thinking this year. Later on, we'll see how this fight goes. The last fight was over. It was a first fight since 2018. So, and it was over really quick. So we wanted to see. That's the reason we took this fight. We wanted to see more, a little bit more, before I jump into the pros. It all depends how this fight goes.
Okay, and if you're in control, right? Because I know coaches and they all have a lot to say because they got the outside perspective. You're in the cage, you feel awesome, you beat the brakes off this girl, and it's like, hey, okay, I'm ready. But what they see is your technique and everything, right? So if you had it your way, would you maybe take a couple more fights, or is it just basically whatever Crouch and the coaches say?
Like I'm saying, it all depends on how I look, how I perform on this fight. And also like I gotta sit down with my coaches and just talk about it, talk about how I feel, like what's the best the next step, and we all just want the best for me. So yeah, just sitting down and talking with them and seeing what's next.
All right, and you guys again have got a lot of fighters on this card. I mean, you guys are literally from the main event on down. It's pretty much all you guys, right? So with these cards and how they're so filled with your team, does that bring a different energy to fight night?
Definitely, yeah, it does. It feels good just being in the locker room, just cutting weight together, like everything. Like the last fight, I think it was 4 of us cutting weight together. So like it was easier, it just feels good when there's more people around you. You don't feel lonely in the locker room. It was like we're all there for each other. Like the guys that the UFC guys showed up and like they were there with us, and like just it feels awesome, and to have everyone just there.
Uh-oh, what happened? The phone
Sorry,
fall?
somebody called. I don't know.
Ah, okay. No sweat, no sweat. Now, when these high-level guys come in to your training camp and to cut weight and to watch you perform, does that give you anxiety, or does that give you like motivation during your camps and your fights?
It motivates me. It motivates me a lot, a lot, and like even like because we all get nervous. I feel like before a fight, like I get nervous for some reason the day before the fight. Like, and then the day of the fight, it's like I'm chilling. But just having like the other guys there, and you look at them and like you're like, okay, I'm not the only one nervous. So it feels good, You're like, okay, it's normal. It happens to everyone. Like sometimes I get nervous in sparring. I'm like, why am I getting nervous? And everyone's like, well, it's better you get nervous here than when you go to the fight. Like if people are different, so yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. And having a lot of these high-level guys and girls, in the camp, in the corner, in the crowd watching you compete. I mean, they've been there, done that. I'm sure that you don't go through a camp without getting advice from some of these men and women. I'm sure that they're telling you, "Hey, you got this 100%," which is the one thing that was missing from my camps, right? I didn't have those guys telling me how good I was or how good I wasn't, right? So, but you have that, and that little, what would you call that? That ace in your back pocket, knowing that these guys that fight at the, at the highest level,
Yeah.
you have their full support.
Yeah, yeah, it feels really good. Like sometimes like sparring them, and I always ask them questions after the sparring. I'm like, hey, like what am I doing wrong, or like what am I doing, like just asking questions, and like they always like they don't hesitate to help me out and stuff, and like or something they're watching me spar. Like sometimes like man be sparring somebody else, and I be sparring like in the corner, and I could see him watching me, and I'm like, oh, why is he watching me? Like the whole time he'll be watching me, let's see what I'm doing, and afterwards he'll come up to me and be like, hey, you do this, do it like this, and like stuff like that matter to me a lot, a lot.
Well, I think a lot of these guys, especially at the high level, at one point in time they were amateurs.
Mm-hmm.
At one point in time, they were that fighter that was looking up instead of, looking across the room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of them get it. And the ones that come up to you and, help you and give you advice and maybe critique, your form or, something that you're doing, those are the guys that, in their mind, they're thinking, man, she's pretty good. She can be something, but she's going to need some help. And I needed help back in my day. So I'm going to help this girl. So that's pretty cool to see, especially in your gym. I know a lot of guys and girls in your gym, and the respect, the family vibe, you know what I mean? Everything inside your gym is pretty fucking tight. Like one of the tightest that I've ever seen in a gym before. So I mean, I'm sure it's not uncommon for that stuff to take place, but with this fight here, you said the weight's on point. You know, your camp pretty much didn't stop. You literally had a basically a sparring match where you dusted this last girl, and then you're coming into a new fight. Now, because these fights are so close together, how do you like flip the switch from, you know, I'm in camp to now it's I'm in a fight because they're so close together? Because it really, I don't mean to disrespect the last girl that you fought, but it looked like a sparring match between a vet and a newbie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, how do you flip that switch with these fights being so close together and the last one going the way that it did?
So after my last fight, I took a week off of just I didn't do anything. I was resting. Because
Me
remember,
too.
or before this last fight, I had three fights get canceled back to back. So I've been in camp for a long, long time. And then and I fought that girl, and then I took a week off. Like my body needs like from sparring, just from everything. I was like the day of the fight, I was sore from my camp. And like so the fight was whatever. And then I took a week off. They told me like you're fighting the week that I was off. They're like, hey, there's a girl that wants to fight, like blah blah. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. And so I got back to the next week after that, and I got back to it like right away, like hard, like just hard. The thing that wasn't as hard was the sparrings. I lowered down on the amount of rounds I was doing in sparrings, and I picked it up. I'll say like the last maybe 2 weeks, I picked up my sparring. So just so my body doesn't feel burned out or anything like that. But that's
Well,
pretty much.
paying attention to your body is one of the most important things that you can do as an athlete. And already you're seeing you make adjustments accordingly, which is some high level pro shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's already telling me that you're already almost there.
Yeah, this is what like all this was Crouch. He's like, okay, like we're not gonna push it. Like he knows he's been in this game for the longest time working with pros, like just world champions and stuff like that. So he's like, hey, this is how we're gonna do this, and I'm like, I just like, yep, and my body feels great, so I'm feel good.
Well, you got a great team behind you for sure. Now, this girl, Mina, she's the one that you're going to be fighting on July 31st over at the Celebrity Theater. Have you looked at anything of hers? What does she do well that we need to keep an eye on?
I haven't looked at anything, but I don't think there's much. I think she only has one fight. All I know is that she's a Muay Thai fighter. I think she does Muay Thai, so I'm expecting to stand up with her.
Okay, and how do you think your skills match up with just what we know as a Muay Thai fighter? How do your skills match up with that?
Uh, it's actually gonna be really fun because I box. I come from a boxing background, and I mean I don't stay in front of nobody. Like I move. I like to move. I don't like to get hit. So just simple as I don't like to get hit. Like I hit and move. I'm not gonna stay in front of anyone. And I know I don't know her, but a lot of Muay Thai people just stay in front of you. So
Yeah, you straight back and forth. There's not a whole lot of you know, side movement. So, I mean, that could play right into your style. I know that your boxing looked pretty good. You eventually got the girl down, and she had no answer for that. So, if this girl Mina has the same sort of style, if the fight goes to the ground, I think you're pretty strong there. You got very strong hips, and your pressure is pretty relentless. So, I think if the fight goes to the ground, it should favor you pretty well.
yeah. Also, like if I go to the floor, I don't want to look for a submission. I just want to show everyone like that I'm not just a boxer. Like in this fight, everyone's like damn, like you went to the floor. I'm like, yeah, this is MMA. It's not boxing no more. Like, I'm not just expected to do boxing. If I have to, yeah, but like if I could go to the floor, like I'm gonna go to the floor. If I could get a submission, I'm gonna get a submission. Like it's MMA now.
Okay, and now that you're, back to competition because you did have, quite a few fights canceled before your last fight, I want to talk about your business because I know that you have your own business. And how has that been? Like, has it been easy to balance it? Have you noticed an upswing in, maybe sales or just people coming in since you've been back to competition?
We've been really busy with the business. I Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturday afternoons, and Mondays and Sundays. I'm there on like half of the day. Sundays, I'm there all day. Fridays all days. Mondays all days. The other days that I'm training, like Tuesdays and Thursdays, I don't go to the business. I have no time. I have to train in the morning. Then I come home tired. I gotta eat, and then I gotta go to wrestling practice again. So I go after wrestling practice sometimes if I'm not too tired. But my boyfriend, he's been taking care of it. Like he hired another trainer. So because we do boxing, we have boxing and shoe store together. So it's two businesses in one. So he has somebody to run the boxing for him, and then he's running the store in front. So it's been working out pretty well, pretty good for us. And he understands that I'm in camp, so he doesn't trip on anything. All I gotta do is post like on Instagram, like just stuff. I could do that laying down in my bed, so it don't nothing.
Well, it seems that the dynamic with the relationship and the business and training camp, it's all synced up. It's like you've got this all figured out. You have the right people in your corner in all aspects of life, right? Not just at the gym, but the boyfriend helping manage in the business while you're, trying to, build your career and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. That it's like kind of harmonious where you guys are all just working together for you. I mean, not to say that the world revolves around Leslie, but everybody is doing everything in their power to make sure that you have what you need and things work in your favor. And like, that is some really fucking deep support. That is pretty fucking cool to see.
Yeah. I'm blessed. Yeah. I really
100%. 100%. You are very blessed. And, if you didn't have the skill, the drive, the abilities, maybe things don't happen the way that they're happening now. But I think everybody sees. I mean, I've called your fights, and I see you're something very special. And if the last fight you made it look easy, and that probably helps everybody, in your corners. Just it shows to them that they're making the right decisions to put, everything. Just take everything out of your way and just let you go on your path. I mean, people see that, and it probably makes those decisions a lot easier when you compete the way that you do. So, I mean, not to knock you up too much or nothing, but I mean, it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I have a lot of support. A lot of people who believe in me. A lot of people. Sometimes I even feel like they believe in me more than I believe in myself. Like there's times that I feel like that I'm like down. Like I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like I just keep working hard. Like it's really a good feeling having those people like believe in you.
Well, having people that believe in you more than you believe in yourself is actually quite common. As you are the one that is experiencing the bumps, the bruises, the heartache of a hard training session. I mean, you're the one that's physically and emotionally going through everything, that you do. You're the only one that feels that.
Yeah.
There's no way for me to feel how your session went.
Yeah.
I can observe and I can have my own feelings about it, but I can't know your feelings about it unless you tell me. So for you to say that sometimes you feel like these guys believe in yourself more than you believe in yourself, very, very common, because they can't experience it, but they are seeing through their own eyes everything that you're going through, and they feel good about it. So that's why that happens.
Yeah, that's true.
So you don't worry about that. You just keep doing what you're doing. And I mean, I think things are going to go very well for you. You have a good support system. You fight like a badass. I mean, you're pretty damn good. And again, we're just on the amateur circuit right now. But while I was doing a little bit more research today, I saw in 2020, now, mind you, this is a website, Tapology. They show a canceled pro bout. What is that all
about? On mine?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know.
Either. So I thought that's why I've been talking so much about you going pro, because I thought it was, maybe right there. But I don't know. It's also a website not ran by you guys, so it's pretty easy to fuck some of that shit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I didn't even know that.
But in doing some of my research, I saw that you hold the #1 ranking in women's pound for pound in the state of Arizona. So that is something to be very, very proud and excited about. I'll send you, I took a screenshot because I knew I was going to send it to you. So I'll send it to you after we get done here.
Yeah, I didn't even know. See, I don't even look for stuff. I'm always like training, 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 training. See, these things I don't even know about.
And that's good. It shows that you are focused on, what's ahead of you. You're not focused on rankings. You're not focused on anything but what's in front of you. Like I said, I mean, I could keep repeating myself, but there's other things that we can talk about. So I'm really glad that the business is going well. I'm really glad that we get a real quick turnaround and we get to see you back in action. I'm glad that the team is taking care of you in regards to how camp is going and really paying attention to when it's time to make the decision to go pro. RUF is extremely grateful to have you on their cards. You put butts in seats and you finish girls. I mean, really, at the end of the day, what more could you ask for from a fight? I mean, you're all around whatever your promotion's dream. You know what I mean? Your promotion's dream.
Russ been really, 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 really good to me, to my whole gym. They've Jason, he's been looking for fights for me for a long time, and he's like, I'm trying to get you a fight, and then he got me the last fight with a girl, and then I was so happy, and then after this, I was like, hey, like I told him the day after the fight in the locker room, I was like, hey, give me a fight for the next month. I was like, give me a fight, and then he's like, okay, I'm working on it. And then he hits me up the week after, and he's like, hey, I got you a fight, and I was like, dude, you're awesome. Like, he's just been such a great person, man, to us. So I'm grateful for him. He's really, really nice person.
He's a really great person, and he's really fucking good at his job.
He is. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's really good at his job.
He is, yeah. Everyone loves Jason.
From a fighter's perspective, absolutely, because the guy goes out there and finds fights for people who have trouble finding fights.
Yeah.
Right. And he doesn't try to pat anybody's record. He tries to put fights together that people want to see, that fighters want themselves. He put together a fight between this one Joker and Roman Salazar. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the records didn't really make sense, but both guys were chirping at each other online, and they both wanted to fight. So he said, oh, you want to fight? And you want to fight? Okay, cool. And he made it happen. So not only does he find fights for people that it's difficult for them to find fights, but he's not opposed to obliging fighters that want to fight each other. He will give them that platform, and he will set it all up. So, and dude is he's a wizard, and he works so damn hard. He starts his cards with 20 fights. That is 40 fighters that he contacts. That's a lot.
And that's honestly right now, because of COVID, everyone coming back and stuff. Getting that much fights is really, really smart, because people test positive, people don't make weight, people just stuff happen, like the last card. So he had 15 fights, which was fucking awesome. So I just have putting that much fights is really, really smart from him. In case anything happens, he still has a lot of more fights there. So.
Yeah, and he's been doing this for quite some time. So when I asked him, when I first came on board, right, I'm like, dude, why do you have 22 fights for this card? And he's like, 7 of them are going to fall off.
Yeah, see, he already knows how it goes.
And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's very smart. Because, injuries, the COVID thing, I mean, you name it. Guys literally just retiring out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So things happen. And this guy is just that smart that on this level, he knows that he's got to stack these cards up with a bunch of fights.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
So, but again, like I said, you're very good for the promotion. You're very good for your gym. You're very good for your business and yourself, and for my show, because I get to talk to you. And I love talking to you. So that's awesome. You're always welcome on my show. Now, you're going to have a fighter code for your fight, so that when people go to www.roughNation.com to purchase the pay-per-view, when they go to purchase it, they're able to type in a code so that each fighter that they are there to represent, they get a little bit of coin in their pocket. So what is your fighter code?
It's capital L Hernandez.
Okay,
Just
and that's all
together, capitals. Yeah.
Okay, and then for my viewers, listeners, and whoever else is out there watching this, how can they follow you on social media?
On Instagram, Lely from Phoenix, Lely from, and then PHX. And on Facebook, just Leslie Hernandez.
Okay, and whoa, what happened?
What was that?
I got a call, so it was my.
I'm
I'm just waiting for you to come back. What happened? Where are you?
right here.
I know you're right here. I can hear you. There you are. Okay. You were in the middle of giving the Instagram where it's LELY from PHX. What other social media platforms do you use?
Facebook, Leslie Hernandez.
Okay. And then, of course, at the end of every interview, I give all of my fighters a chance to do some shout outs. So coaches, training partners, whatever. Go ahead.
Shout out to my whole MMA Lab family. There's too many, so I'm not gonna name one by one. There's too many. All my partners, from the UKF gym, Javier, Karen, who she was helping me from Combate, sponsors, Peter Jungle, Tug Jug, Skill Set Management, Alpha Male Elite, something. It's a long name. It's just Alpha Male Elite. What else? That's pretty much it.
Okay. And you did get picked up by Skill Set, right?
No, I did not. He just helps me out, but we're talking about it, but I'm not too sure yet. Well,
Okay. Well, those guys, they're a nice group of guys, and
Yeah.
they got a stable. They got Richard Hale. They got Joao,
Yeah.
which I really like Joao. He's a cool dude.
2 guys from the lab, I think, or 3 from the lab too. So they're pretty good people.
Yeah, good people. So if things work out on that end, cool. If you end up, going somewhere else, that's still awesome.
Yeah.
Literally anybody would be lucky to have you. Like I said, not only a promotion's dream, but an agency's dream. Trust, it goes that way as well. So July 31st at the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix at RUF 42. You got Leslie Hernandez. She's going to be taking on Mina something or other. I just can't pronounce the last name, so I'm not going to try. All right. So make it to the scale safely. I'll see you at weigh-ins. And then, of course, the following night, I'll get to call your fight, which makes me very excited. I'm very excited to watch you fight again and so close together. I couldn't ask for anything else, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am. Well, until next time, we'll see you.
See you next one.